Welcome everybody. SLA episode numero 8, 7 or 8? I mean 8. Yeah, that's correct. 8. This week we're going to be discussing here with Chris and Orvin. So today we're going to cover two topics. One's going to be AI art is cool, but who the hell owns it? And then number 2 will be too many games, too little time. So we're going to start off with the AI art and stuff. Oren, you were talking before the pre-show. You were saying you were doing some with AI. What do you do with it?
So I've been messing with Midjourney So Midjourney is an AI generator. It's not like the rest where it's like you have to go through an app or a desktop or through a browser. You have to go through Discord, and then you do a prompt in one of their their chats. You'll go in there, it'll be like, one of them was like newbie 88 or something like that. And you click in there, and then you will do like dash image prompt, and then after that, anything descriptive that you do, it'll try to generate that based off your description. And I looked in some videos on that, on better ways to like make it photographic or realistic, or ways to really like sharpen it, get that like almost camera look to it. So like the outside's blurry, the subject is like clear and crisp. There's a lot of different things that you could play around with it. And I think a person that has like a photographer has more of an advantage using that program, in my opinion. And I think especially with Midjourney, it's better for like realism, like realistic photo look images that you want. And then they just recently came out with a version 5. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. They are having an alpha version of 5, and they're pushing that out for people to kind of use so they can modify it and adjust it so that they can release it out. But it's been in production for about 5 months.
Is it Midjourney, for people that don't know, is it free or do you need to pay?
So there is a free trial aspect. So if you guys go to their website on like, I believe just midjourney.com, and then it'll bring you to their website. We'll give you a link to go to the Discord server and join that. Once you join that, you have a limited use. I don't remember how many it is. I think I was able to do about 20 images or something like that.
I think it's
before
it
locks you out, and then it will prompt you. And it's weird how to subscribe, because they don't have any go to the website and subscribe. Like you have to like go through this roundabout way, and then they send you a link, and then you click on that link, and they say not to share it either. And then it'll take you to a website where you can subscribe to them and like pay monthly.
Okay, what was it? $10 was it?
It was like 10. So they have like 3 different plans. You have the 10. And then I think the other one's like 16, and then the other one's like, or maybe there's even more than that. I remember there was one that was like $60 a month. That one allows it so you can like get like infinite pretty much use and like high res quality and faster loads.
That's way cool.
And all this. So if you're in an application of like a job, that I can see where it's like you got to pump it out like now and a bunch of them, so you can get different variations to figure out which is the best.
That's true. In the UI, you can do like upscale, and then you tell it the way. And this is the one thing on Discord though, that it's a little interesting and it can be iffy, but at the same time, I don't know what you're doing if you want it so privately, but you can see what everybody is requesting.
Yeah.
And so you can hide those.
That's so interesting.
So you can hide.
So you can hide them. So if you do the base subscription, no, you can't. But if you do the upgraded version up to the next one from the base, you can hide prompts. They do also advertise in their subscription that you can use it as commercial. So as though they're like, you can use our AI generated art to sell it type thing.
Which is interesting because
into that, yeah.
I looked into an actual court case or a couple, and they both deemed it as there's no law that says anything. Like you can't technically sue anybody from copywriting. yeah, according to law, from what I read on this summary report, is currently I could grab an AI image from Midjourney, go sell it, and technically I'm not supposed to get royalty from it, but at the same time I can't be sued for getting royalty
Yeah.
from it because there's no law. It's the Wild West. It's whatever. Let us know in the comment section
could
if
be
you.
it could be that because Midjourney, when they said, "Oh, commercial use," it's like they're advertising that they could figure out whether it's coming from them or from another AI generated program.
That'd
Which
be interesting, yeah.
that would
But
be, I don't know how you do that. Like if they have a way of like decoding the image, like, and it's able to recognize that, oh, it's about 90% accurate to what the AI would probably produce, or
that's where I think it's a
95.
future proofing themselves in a sense.
Yeah. So
You know,
they can probably take an image and like reverse engineer it and then be able to say, hey, this was actually our
at this point,
AI
maybe
generator.
until there's so many generators that it's gonna be like, what the heck?
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, CJ.
The question then at that point is, can two people type in the same style prompt and receive the same results?
No, it will be
'Cause
slightly
then at
different.
that point,
If I
really?
put in the
Oh,
exact,
how
I've done it
interesting.
before. I put in the exact same thing. It slightly comes out. Now there is ones where you could put like in Midjourney you could do dash dash style, and then you could put a number after that, and it's in the AI generator. It says, okay, out of all the ones you're generating, I want the 1,000th one. I want the 100th version. So I don't know if that would, if
Wow.
you put those both in and you said, I want the 100th version, it
Uh-huh.
would give you the same result if you did it that way.
Mm.
But if you put in like
Mhm.
the same description, it will produce something, two different images. They might be similar in some cases, but they're not going to be the same.
Okay.
How interesting.
Midjourney is good, guys. I think that I like the one that you can hide it. I was thinking because everybody just there was some Batman like creations in there that I grabbed that I'm like, if I ever do a Batman article, I'm using this one. It was so good looking. But yeah, the Discord thing, if anybody needs help with that, just hit us up on SLA. I think dude, I kinda like that. I should make a guide on that one. How to use Midjourney.
Yeah, there's a few guides out there, so I would
Yeah.
I would consider it because
Yeah, 'cause
of the new version coming out.
no, for sure. And plus, Midjourney is, I would say, one of the, I want to call it complicated. It's just
It's
so
definitely not
odd.
user friendly.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just
so
say that. It's
different.
not
I've tried
user-friendly.
other ones and they look more complex, but this one, it's not complex. It's just weird. You're like, okay, buttons and prompts.
There
They're
is an
simple.
so the positive aspect of this is that you could be on Android, you could be on Apple,
Yeah,
you could be on your desktop, and no matter where you are, all of those all have a Discord app and other means of accessing Discord. So I can
Xbox. Yeah.
take my iPad, I can pull it up on Discord, I can get my image, I can click on that, hit save it directly to my library. Then I can pull that up into, say, Procreate, and then I can start working on it right away.
Help. That's, dude. I'm just okay. We're running out of time. About 2 more minutes. I just feel for the artist, the ones who fed the machine. It's like,
There is that, but there's people excited though. Like there's artists like genuinely excited about this. They're like, dude, I can do this and like I can have so many creative ideas. Like I'm lacking creativity. I can go here. I can pull up these many like AI generated images, and then I can take from here and here in different perspectives and say, okay, I like this perspective. I'm going to go with that, and then you do your art.
that's where I think for now until in the near future, for the near future, I think those artists shouldn't worry in the sense of if they want a client, they'll get a client. For example, I don't think no big corporation is going like Apple or Google is going to use AI generated images and play the Russian roulette. Oh, maybe we won't get royalty sued for this in the future or something. You know, they're gonna get a certified artist to create their art and still use it. maybe mixing AI art into it, but it still has to be human in order to, get that stuff or something like that.
So for a company,
Like using
oh,
the oh, so sorry, real quick. Like using like the AI as like the skeleton for it, and then
Yeah,
kind of fill it out. Is
that's
that
what
what
I'm
you're
thinking. The
thinking?
least amount of AI
Interesting.
at best, I think. I don't think companies, maybe at all,
Yeah.
for the next few months, maybe years.
so certain companies might go to AI generate like logos or other different things to get a rough idea of what they want. And they can say, okay, we want this, put it in, and then send it to an artist and
Nope,
say,
like
we
that.
want something like this. And then that artist will be, okay. And then they take that concept and then they'll make their own concept out of that, different variations of them, but it's like high quality. And then send it to them. And they're like, great, perfect. And so it eliminates that process of figuring out what they want because usually the artist will be like, they get a description
Nope.
and then they have to generate that out. Then they send it to them. They're like, okay, actually, we want these changes, this change, send it back, and that can happen maybe like 3 times, where it's back and forth until finally they get what they want. But now this AI generated can reduce that quickly, whether it's on the company side or the artist side, where they can go through the AI generated, put in the prompts that the company said they want, and then generate these things out, and they can quickly, and it's in the matter of like a day, he can already have it already like sent to them for them to say yes or no.
Nope, agree. Well, that's the future. Gotta adapt. And I think to kind of finish,
Adapt.
natural selection. I think to kind of finish, my standing on it is it'll be unfair to a degree, but at the same time, that's the nature of technology. It's kind of like and then there's always this unfair aspect of it. But for example, Android and Cydia with Jailbreak making the iPhone better, Apple grabbing ideas from those platforms and then just copying them in their Apple style. Yeah, it's unfair that I guess they didn't get paid. The customer paid for that, but then Apple takes it and they don't pay this side. But at the same time, it happens the
Yeah,
other way around, and the industry just, yeah, sometimes more on one side, but at the end of the day, you got to adapt and just keep going.
yeah, it's like you know what you were getting into when you did that. So it's
I
like
mean,
whether they were playing play nice or not, it's like that's just kind of
yeah,
up to
it's
luck
like
at that point.
a perfect example, I think, on the Android side is Samsung at the beginning of the smartphone era, literally copy pasting Apple. They still do it in the iPad with their tablets, and so it's like how much unfair you want to dive into that. It's like, no, let's move on. Let's talk about something else. Let's not just dwell on the past in that sense, I guess. But anyway, let us know what you think in the comment section below. The next topic is too many games, so little time.
I think Richard, I think you got this entire topic. We don't need to say anything.
So this is the thing I have. I'm currently.
Logging off.
All right, see you later.
Oh man, like that's the thing in today's world that I've been seeing a lot of people online complain and say that gaming is just rotten and it's not the same as in the past. And I see different arguments. I see nostalgia being mixed into it. And then I see real facts that, yeah, some games are just filler. But then to counter some of these examples, I would say, you remember the days when games were hard just for the sake of being hard, so you would grind it. And for example, 007 Everything or Nothing, a lot of Nintendo 64 games became towards the end of the era, or especially PlayStation 2. And if I remember right, early PlayStation 3 games were just hard for the sake of being hard. And
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I liked
some of
those
those,
games
Yeah, I was
just
about to
because
say.
it was difficult. It had a challenging aspect to it that I liked, and then now it's all handholdy. Now it's like, okay, just let me play the game. I want to go over there. Let me go over there and just kind of like
Struggle
figure
for
it
an
out on my
hour.
own. Yeah, I want to struggle, and then sometimes you struggle for an hour, and then you give up and you never touch the game again. Done that
exactly,
too.
that's the thing. In the past, they could have made it so you struggled, and what else are you going to go play? There's not that much.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they make you struggle. You're just going to jump ship and go play the other 100 games on Game Pass that you could be trying. So there's a balance.
Yeah, that's just generational, like attention span problems.
You know, I was thinking about it, and it's like I feel like YouTube, TikTok, Google has made certain aspects of playing a game both more enjoyable, but also less challenging, which kind of got rid of a little bit of the enjoyment. Like I've definitely had games where I'm playing it, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm stuck here. Like I don't know how to move forward in this mission, and I'm like, oh, I could just Google it. I'm sure somebody's posted a video.
Yeah, see, you're tempted to do that on certain and I had the same like you're tempted to want to just, I could just Google it. And then you stop yourself and you think, okay, wait a minute. If I Google it right now, how much of the fun am I taking out of this game?
I think
like I remember struggling on so when I played Majora's Mask, there's an aspect that I couldn't get past. I didn't know what to do, and mind you, I was like 7. So I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm grinding this thing out. I'm like, I don't know what the freak am I supposed to do? And it was in the part where you get to like the bay, and then you have to like go underneath the water, and then you have to like shoot yourself and hit the wood piece. And
people wonder what he's talking about.
But it's like they suggested it, but they didn't really tell you that you needed to do it. So they hinted, and if you were older, you'd probably be able to like, oh, you just do that. But that's the intuitive aspect. So as a kid, you don't have those game intuitive skills yet. You're still developing them. But as you get older, you've played so many different games that you develop into that now it's just second nature to just try out that. That's probably going to work. And then it does. And you're like, yeah, or this other thing. And so you already have in your mind of what you need to try out. But then you get aspects like that where now you have to get that intuitive again, where it's like, okay, I got to figure this out again. But now I'm just going to Google and they figure it out for me.
I agree. When you're playing a game from zero, it's way more enjoyable and to try and figure that out, like you mentioned. But I think so. I've been playing a lot of Destiny recently, and I mean, you can't even get access to some of the original campaign, and it's really quite sad because if you don't understand the lore behind it, then there's going to be several levels where you're just standing there and you're like, I don't even have the slightest clue what to do, how to go about it. Like there's little things that pop up on the screen and you're like, what does this even mean? Like I have no way of figuring this out because there's just not enough background information for it. So it's like in that sense, it's like recently, I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago, I had to kill Savathun, which is a big boss for Witch Queen. And honestly, we played it maybe for 2, 3, 4 hours straight trying to kill her. And we could not figure out how in the world to do it. So finally, when I picked up my phone, I was like, you know what? Like, screw it. I'm going to Google it, figure out if I can get like a quicker way to do it. And then finally, when I Googled it, I realized the way we were going about it by killing her henchman first and then going to kill her was never going to work. Never. But we never had at any point any other indicators that would make us think that we could go about it a different way. And if it wasn't for Google, we would have sat there and played it for 10, 15, 20 hours and gone nowhere.
So it makes you... So that like brings up a good question. It's like, is that just like the game devs just being lazy? And like we live in an industry where it's like, or a time where people are just automatically going to do that. So they assume people are going to know this know-how type things, but also it's just lazy where they just didn't put that in there. They're like, yeah, we could have probably did better. And I know there's people, game devs, when they talk about it, they're going through it again and they're watching people play their game. They're like, oh, yeah, we probably should have put something in there to kind of make that a little bit more intuitive for people that are not at that level.
But the other thing as well, real quick, the other thing as well is when you're watching streamers play, a lot of the streamers are going to be posting that difficult part. And then if you watch them,
they're all streaming these games.
Yeah, now you don't even have to Google it. You accidentally watched how to advance that level.
Yeah, you don't have to buy the game. You can just watch it.
Sickos. People that just watch games and not actually play them. Holy crap! You mentioned weirdo.
Okay, you gotta. Okay, there's two aspects of that. You can't just go out because because there is those people like because you were a kid, like you were different though. You were because you guys always wanted to have your own separate consoles and everything else, doing your own thing. But as a family of 11 kids, I can firmly say you're going to be watching your siblings,
Yeah.
and it's fun. It's enjoyable. You're with them.
Siblings
You're there
will
with them, and you're
cuckold
watching, and
you
it's
with your
enjoyable.
games.
But there is that point where it's like you could be just playing the game because it's different when it's streaming. It's like I'm not there waiting because somebody else is using the console and I can't use it, and they're playing the game I want to play.
Yeah.
So my only option is to watch them. But now it's like that you have the game. It's in front. Like pull it up on Steam, play it. Why are you watching this person? Other than
I agree.
a
I think it's
playthrough, you
weird
shouldn't be
and
watching.
lazy in a sense, but I guess it's the same as TV watching. If you're doing that instead of TV watching, kudos. But
Yeah,
my
entertainment's entertainment, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I guess it makes you feel a little less alone knowing that somebody else is enjoying doing something that you like to do.
That's true. I mean, it's
Or
kind of
failing at
size. I
something.
think it's
Yeah,
mostly
yeah.
when it comes to when it replaces your actual. If you were playing or you were planning on playing, and then you watch someone else play, it's a little weird. But I think with so many games and titles, I personally think going back to the beginning of we're in a weird era for gaming. I personally disagree. I think we're in the greatest era of gaming in the sense of quality is just damn. And then availability is just wow. And of course, there is kind of like with music, it's so easy to do it that there's so much trash out there. But it's easy to find the good stuff too. And then recently, then there is the argument of why the hell so many remasters, and I'm like, well, that proves my point. We are in the best era of gaming. I mean, holy crap, we're getting these remasters of older titles and new stuff. Honestly, how much can come out that you can truly enjoy? So like a lot of these people that complain, I'm like, how many hours are you putting into your games? Because I love playing a lot of games, but I struggle to put more than 2 hours a day at best in a lot of my games. Like in one day, I come down to the point that I only game about 2 to 3 hours on average a day, and that isn't a good day. Some days.
Well, that changes with ages, by the way. So, like, you're older, but a younger person
Exactly,
probably gonna be
there's
putting
that.
in 5-6 hours
Exactly.
because they can. They're living with their parents. They're not, having to have a job.
Yeah,
that's,
maybe, or even then, even if
or,
you do your 9 to
40-hour
5
work
and you're
weeks and
single,
stuff like that.
you have still 16 plus 12 hours.
Cheaper to play at home.
12, 10 hours to just do whatever the hell you want. That's including a gym hour in there and lunch and crap. So you have like between 8 to 10 hours of just doing whatever you want. And if you shove them all into a game, of course, it's going to be done. Metroid Fusion, for example, great classical, 2002. You could beat in what? Average 6 hours? If you know what you're doing, I think it can be even lower. And your sucky players, 8 to 10. Back in the day, though, it could extend longer, but I'm talking Metroid Fusion. If you look at the statistics of how much it takes to beat it, you're looking at 6 hours a game. You could beat that in one sitting in your afternoon, and that is from the golden era of gaming. For example, Metroid Dread nowadays, or Metroid Prime Remastered, I've seen some people beat it in less than 10 hours. And then you see some people beat it around 12 and crap. And I'm like, dude, that's 2-3 days for a good sitting on someone. Me, I haven't beaten it. I'm 75% done with it. And I'm already, because I'm taking it so slow and doing a bunch of other stuff. There's just too many games. Right now, for example, if I were to tell you what I want to beat, by the way, I am working on a review on a game that publisher. Whoa, look at that! Whoa, we got a blooper. Let's go. The way he walks in.
Was
For the audio people, sorry about that. Someone just walked in on Orvin. It's like I'm currently, if I wanted to play all the games that I want to play right now, this instant, after this podcast, it would be Persona 5 on Xbox with a Game Pass. That one, I've read online that it can take you 40 to 80 hours to beat. Okay, that's going to be a while. Then I want to play, and let's add in my multiplayer with my buddies that I play here and there. Which, by the way, we need to get back to it on Orvin on Apex. But Apex Legends, Fortnite, Halo Infinite. Those are 3
And Halo
multiplayer
Infinite.
right there. Let's
Okay,
add
that one.
CJ and I wanted to hit up
Yeah.
some Destiny because I want to hit up some Destiny. That thing is going to take hundreds of hours to beat. Right there. So we're at what?
So many.
We're at 100 hours for Destiny, 60 hours.
Don't think about it.
200
For
hours.
Persona.
Close to 3.
Then let's add
400 hours.
Metroids, all the
That's crazy.
Metroids, because I'm currently beating Metroid Dread, which I got to 50% of it, and then I stopped. That one, you're looking at plus 8 to 10
I definitely wanna
hours
play
around
that
there. I'm already at 200 plus hours worth of gaming.
Well, and then we have to finish beating
The new
I
Diablo's
don't know
coming
how you
out.
do it, man.
My wife wants to beat Diablo 3
Oh,
with
yeah,
me.
dude.
We're halfway through the 3rd game. How many hours is that left? Another, I'm just going to throw it out there, 5 to 10 hours if we grinded. You're looking at 200 plus hours, plus that multiplayer, keeping it consistent. You know, like, we're talking 200 hours. And to put in perspective, that's being generous. 200, if I play divided by, let's just say I play 2 hours a day because that's all I can grind. That's 100 days worth of gaming that I have already set up if I do my every day 2 hours.
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Not enough time, though. I'll give you that. Not enough time.
Yeah, there's just so much. And by the way, I'm currently beating
Yeah.
GTA 5. Also, I want to do that. Dead Space Remake, God of War Ragnarok. I can go all day on what I'm playing and I want to play. And it's just,
And if another Pokemon comes out, it's over.
so like, where is,
There's certain games. This is why I avoid stuff because I know it will happen when I grab it and it's in my hands. I'm like, well, I guess
right
I
there,
just gave
100
up
days,
like
2 hours
40
every
hours
day
of my
in order
life.
to finish those titles that I just mentioned.
and imagine if you wanted to play
Oh,
Elder
dude,
Scrolls.
yeah. You want to jump in and do some Elder Scrolls Town
Done.
Online Unlimited? There goes another 100 hours.
Done. Or you maybe you're a little bit transphobic. and
Yeah,
wanna
maybe
play
I
some
want to
Harry
hit up
Potter.
some Hogwarts Legacy.
Who knows, you know?
JK, roll it around. Dude, and then you have fucking
Running on a broom
Elden
for
Ring?
an hour.
So many.
bro. Where is this lack of
It-
gaming
it-
that you're talking
unlimited
about?
amount of hours.
Richard, I can literally see you just breaking as your mind's like, oh, I got this one. Oh, shoot. And then I want to do this, but I only have. And then
Yeah,
you're just
dude,
like,
it's
there's not
crazy.
enough time.
The stress.
It's- I think it's amazing, and I love it, and I have forced myself, and I invite people on my article that I wrote is, it can be done. You just have to, like Oren said, you just have to be selective about what you're going to add and dedicate yourself into it. And if you're like me and you like just jumping around a bunch of games, one, it's expensive, but thanks to Game Pass and PSN, it can save you quite a bit of money on that end. And you just play them here and there. You just got to be careful with how much you jump around, because then, yeah, you've said you've played everything, but have you really played everything?
But you not really enjoyed it. Like, I feel like at that point, you're just
Exactly.
kind of like, I don't know, mudding the water.
It's like going
of it
on
all.
vacation somewhere and just like going to the beach and then going back home. Like you didn't really experience it, not in the true sense, but like,
True.
yeah, you technically were there.
Well, there's also like where you overplan it, where it's just like the whole time it's like, okay, it's the next thing. You gotta go to the
And
next.
then you don't even
That's
enjoy
true.
it.
It's just like,
Yeah.
I just want to
yeah.
sit down and relax. Yeah, I'm like I'm not really enjoying this. It was just stressful the entire time because we kept on almost missing every appointment.
Yeah, and so it's a balance.
Yeah.
And
Really
I
on
think
vacation?
instead of complaining that back in the day was better, the games were better, it's like, no, bro. Your life was probably better back in the day, and that's what you're looking at. You're looking at it through a nostalgia lens. And you just got to take
Yeah.
control of your
Yeah.
life and make it what
agree.
it is, because gaming right now can be awesome. By the way, another game I just thought about on the Switch, because we got to show the Switch a little bit of love besides Metroid. I thought about, I want to beat, because I haven't done it in over 10 years, Super Mario Galaxy and Mario Sunshine. And the 64, I haven't played it in like 20 years, and I want to play that one on the Switch too. And then you have like Wave Race. the new Mario.
Dude, you should do stream like where
The
you
game?
get multiple people together and then stream it. So then people are kind of like what is it called? Sure, there's a
Oh
few
yeah,
channels where they
stream the
like
game and
they're sitting together or they're streaming together, and they're not playing the game together.
like a
One guy's
hangout.
playing the game, but we're like
Interesting.
they're having conversation, they're
Streaming Live
talking. I
Academy.
think
I
that'd be
mean, it's in
fun.
the name.
Yeah, like a hangout stream.
But ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, that is pretty much our podcast for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know. Do you think the golden age of gaming is dead, or are you on the bitter side and decide that it is just sucks and there's nothing good out there, and all you're doing is emulating old games? Because Diablo 4 sucks. Diablo Immortal sucks. Oh, that one does. Anyway. Yeah,
Got it
perfect
right.
example of it. So
Actually,
far,
let's
Diablo
do
4 is
that.
looking good according to Orvin, but Diablo Immortal doesn't. And so there it is.
Oh, yeah,
Perfect balance.
that's so good.
Anyway, talk to you all next time. Peace out.